Listen to this. Transit workers are sounding the alarm on rampant drug use in Seattle, saying some of the vehicles smell like toxic fentanyl and meth, and that smoke is scaring off travelers. King County Metro employees filing an unprecedented almost 400 drug-related incident reports last year as narcotics surpassed needles and marijuana in driver complaints. Seattle radio show host Jason Rantz does not own a car. He takes public transportation. And you've seen this with your own two eyes. People are smoking meth on the trains and in the buses.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal. Well, you're sitting there on your way to the office, and then all of a sudden you're like, what is that weird smell? And you turn to see some homeless people who are smoking meth together in the back of the bus. And, you know, weirdly enough, you kind of get used to seeing these kinds of things, but we shouldn't. This is 2022. We live in supposedly a world-class city, and you probably shouldn't have to experience this almost daily for a lot of people. It depends on the routes that you actually take. And part of the reason we're seeing this is that it's almost by design, I would argue. You've got homeless people who are allowed to ride the bus for free. There's no fair enforcement because fair enforcement, according to the county, is racist.
Right.
Don't get into it. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, that means they kind of run things the way that they want. They have carte blanche over the bus system. And even before you get onto the bus, good luck finding one of the bus routes that isn't just occupied by a whole bunch of homeless people.
Sure. Some of the quotes from the reports from Metro workers, on August 19th, somebody said, continued drug use and filling the cabin with secondhand smoke, causing myself to get a migraine and slight nauseousness. And then on November 7th, I noticed a burning peanut butter smell. I looked out of the door window of the cab to see a passenger in the seat behind my cab smoking pills off of aluminum foil. That is crazy. Here's the thing. Fentanyl, which is one of the components here, fentanyl and meth, that is so toxic. All you have to do is be in the same room and you inhale it, and you can die. And obviously people are doing that on public transportation. Somebody in your town, Jason, needs to take a stand and say, okay, the homeless can ride for free, but they cannot smoke the fentanyl on the train.
Yeah, you would think that that wouldn't be controversial, and yet it is, because then you have activists out here and politicians saying you're stigmatizing drug abuse and drug addicts, and you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, well, no, we should be stigmatizing the actual action. You don't want to stigmatize the person. You want that person to get actual help. But unfortunately, we've effectively decriminalized drugs, not even just in Seattle, but across the state of Washington. So for the most part, when you are witnessing this, police aren't going to make arrests, even if we had enough police officers to call to actually respond to some of these things. We very clearly need to do something. The question is, will there be any politician who will be able to withstand the political pushback that they're going to get from, albeit a small group of activists in the city, but that small group has a lot of power. They're loud.
Well, Jason, the city founders, or rather the city fathers and mothers, should just look at ridership numbers. If the ridership numbers start to go way down because people are afraid they're going to OD on a ride to downtown, that should impact it.
It should, and hopefully people will start to speak up. It's weird that we had to wait until the bus drivers had to complain to actually talk about this, because obviously people are witnessing this and experiencing this on buses.
Yep, no kidding. All right, Jason, thank you very much. Travel safely.
Thanks, Steve.
You bet.